Welcome back to Man Words Podcast today. It's your boy Ryan White, and let's get into some fantasy football discussions. First off, I'd like to talk about Calvin Ridley because, man, oh man, this has been a season of disgust for Calvin Ridley fantasy owners. And there's multiple reasons why I would say this has been the case. Number one, there is no actual quarterback in Tennessee right now. Sure, Mason Rudolph, he looked pretty solid coming in for Will Levis against Miami a couple of weeks ago. But on the other hand, he still did not produce as much as people were hoping. And, I think that game, Calvin Ridley only had 8 points. Yeah, recently, I don't think Calvin Ridley has been what he wanted to be coming into the season. And I don't believe anybody has really seen any growth or development from him thus far. And honestly, I would not blame him on this. I think it's more so the offense. It's Will Levis. It's Mason Rudolph. It's everybody right now in Tennessee. Calvin Ridley, he did have one good game, and that was he scored 20 points, I think, or 20, 25, 26 points. But yeah, recently he has just not looked great. So the question comes of should you trade or should you keep Calvin Ridley? And this is really tough. Um, I think if you're a team who is getting desperate, you're 0-5 or 0-6, 1-5, 2-4, around that range, I would say it's probably a good time to get rid of him. But if you're a higher ranked team, if you're 5-1, 6-0, 4-2, 3-3 at least, I would just keep him right now. It just kind of depends on your situation. If you are desperate, go ahead and trade him. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins has looked way better so far throughout the season. He's just been more consistent, and I think that's because there's been more protection and coverage on Calvin Ridley thus far. And you just can't trust the offense there at all. I don't know why anybody would be starting Tennessee Titans players unless it's Tony Pollard this season. But for fantasy purposes, I would not start Calvin Ridley. If you have Romeo Dobbs or Christian Watson or anybody like that, I'd rather start them over him right now. Just because I mean he did have 8 targets last game. They were trying to give him the ball, but that was all kind of late in the game, and you kind of saw his frustration afterwards, post game interviews, and you know they have to start targeting him early on in these games if they want him to be a factor. I mean, when you're not targeting him in the early sets and downs, you're kind of just forfeiting the game at that point. And yes, sure, you should stick to the run stuff and keep it going with Tony Pollard. But I mean, right now, if you want to get the passing game going, start targeting him early, or to DeAndre Hopkins or Traylon Burks or anybody like that, or a Conquo. You know what I'm saying? Just try and get these guys more involved and have more of a spirit and livelihood than just tearing them down and not giving them any reps or any catches or anything. And they signed him to a lot of money, Calvin Ridley, and right now it's looking like a waste of investment in my eyes. So for right now, keep him on your bench. I mean, if you have to start him, you can, but I would definitely not. In any case, until I do see some improvement in the offense. It's been a rough start for a lot of you guys, and I know that you need some fantasy guidance, so I'm happy to help you guys. And that's it for now. Peace.